Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight was fixed. The poor stay poor, the rich get rich. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that the boat is leaking. Everybody knows the captain lied. Everybody got this broken feeling, not like their father or their dog just died. Everybody talking to their pockets. Everybody wants a box of chocolates and a long stem rose. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that you love me, baby. Everybody knows that you really do. Everybody knows that you've been faithful. Give or take a night or two. Everybody knows you've been discreet, but there were so many people you just had to meet without your clothes. And everybody.
Well, if my neighbors didn't know that I was a radio show host before, they will know tonight. Poor guys, they just moved in. And the window's open. You guys can't see that. You can just see the mess on the table there. Appreciate you guys being here. We'll let Leonard tell us a little bit longer.
Everybody knows that's how it goes. Everybody knows. And everybody knows that it's now or never. Everybody knows that it's me or you. And everybody knows that you live forever. When you turn the line on you. Everybody knows the deal is rotten. Old Black Joe's still digging counting for your ribbons and bows.
All right. I appreciate you guys being here. We got, if you've been paying attention at all to your Facebook posts and your news lines and things like that, you're well aware of, we can sum it up like this. Walmart's shutting down a bunch of stores, and this is going to affect millions and millions of dollars of commerce, right? This puts thousands of people out of a job with really no notice, and Walmart is so big they can just do it and they won't suffer any consequences. They can hurt all of these people, which is going to be a bunch of people without a job. And they're going to hurt themselves financially. Obviously, if you shut down 200 plus stores, you're, Walmart, they're taking, one store takes in millions, per week, per month, whatever. And, they say it's plumbing. Yeah, because we all know when you go to walmartpeople.com and things like that everyone always talks about the plumbing, There's no stories about Walmart plumbing until they made it one. So that's complete BS. You couple that with missing nukes, a president trying to fire everybody during a military purge and causing a military purge. That was Bush, by the way. Obama has just made it even worse. And You couple that with Operation Jade Helm and everything happening all at once. You've never had a time in this country that the conspiracy theorists had more evidence right in front of you of what they've been saying. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is scary. That right there is enough to unnerve any rationally minded people, because now it's evidence. It's right in front of us. It'd be undeniable at that point. And it doesn't matter if they say, oh, it's just a military exercise. These are the same people that say, oh, it's just genetically modified apples. You know, it's just a chemtrail. All that BS. All of this happening at once has a lot of people unnerved. But tonight, as advertised, you know, I probably should look to see who all's here and make sure everybody's filed in. Anonymous, thank you. All the Anons, thank you. Our sovereigns, our militia, everybody. You guys are awesome. This doesn't happen without you. And, you know, it makes sense in this day and age to have an electronic army standing next to an actual army, standing next to a bunch of sovereigns that are equivalent to law professors and can help you restore your country and find balance within the actual law, like an ecclesiastical court, common law type situation. So, man, I've got a lot of people. Hey, I want to be a guest on your show. All right, cool. I'll start making a schedule. I'll start making a list, and we'll get together on it, and I'll have everybody on. So if you want to get on, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're nobody. I'm nobody. We'll both be nobody together. And you can come on and speak your piece. Say whatever it is you got to say. Average Joes and average Josephinas. We'll have everybody. And so, yeah, lots of folks that want to come on, and I don't blame you. Also, Monday is when next week will be the week for open enrollment for Activist Liaison Network. So it's gonna, you know, it's structured much like a bunch of the other organizations that work as a coalition or an umbrella. And so if you want to help with that, you'll be able to do that starting Monday. If you want to be part of the Activist Liaison Network, and it's everybody in the community. It doesn't matter who you are, because we can use whatever skills or talents or whatever it is you have to work on different cases, different research projects, whatever it is, campaigns to get stuff out to the public, or campaigns to get stuff out to the media. So a bunch of different things going on, lots of stuff that needs promoting. If you're good at promoting, advertising, things like that, we can definitely use you. And that'll start on Monday. That cigarette is distracting me. All right. What is the spark? I get asked this all the time, frequently, by people that are in different organizations, maybe a leader of a group, a militia. Man, it comes from everybody. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter if this is a working professional or somebody who's just getting into college or somebody who's just, you know, getting into high school. Everybody's kind of wondering the same thing. It's almost as if everybody can feel the exact same thing in their bones. You know, they feel it. Everybody does. Some of you may not like the simplicity of the answer, but realize it comes in parts, and it never needed to be complicated. To understand the answer, we have to discuss just a tiny bit of history first. Our founding fathers and mothers, the people that created the country, one of the most important methods that they used was paper. And I know a lot of you are not going to like that answer, you know, because it's just too simple. It's just too simple, right? Couldn't be. But I want to give you guys just one example that you know is evident in all of our lives. If you're listening to this, then chances are you're no stranger to activism. Most of us right now, what we don't realize is that, and anybody who's in earshot of this, that's been involved in activism or just getting involved in activism, if your time is now in this, then you need to realize two things. The first thing is you are a leader because you're ahead of the curve. See, we think that there's a lot of people. And then we also talk about how the Americans haven't woken up yet and what's going to wake them up. If you're doing this, then you have seen reality before a lot of people. Those people are the ones that we talk about constantly needing to wake up. We can all agree on these things. So if you're early to the game, this puts you in at the ground level, and you need to realize your position. You need to know where it is you stand in your community, whether you want this or not, whether you even believe this or not, whether you're comfortable with this or not. The fact is if you're involved right now, you're in a leadership position, because this gives you seniority over everybody that we are about to get hip to this game, everybody that we are about to wake up to this revolution. What is the spark? I hate to tell you this because most of you aren't ready for this in this unaffordable revolution, but it is you. It isn't anyone else. There isn't anybody else that's going to take responsibility. There isn't anybody else that's coming to save our asses. There isn't anybody that's coming to save this country. No one's going to show up and hold our hand all of a sudden and say, "Oh, you know what? You've had it rough. This is unfair. Let me fix this for you." It's not happening. Nobody is coming. You are your only chance at saving the United States of America. You are it. You and I working together in tandem. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. It doesn't matter what religion you have. It doesn't matter what your party affiliation is, because all of us are getting ready to lose all of that in the eyes of a government that sees each and every one of us the same. If we can't see fit to say, okay, fine, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're an independent, you're a libertarian, that's great. All of us stand to lose all of those things if we don't have the common sense to come together. A lot of us realize that. Many in our society aren't even thinking along those lines. They haven't even considered these things. And that's fair. That's fair. I'll tell you why. They're overworked, they're overburdened, and they're overstressed. They're underappreciated, and they're running around with that same kind of level of confusion. You're not alone, and neither are they. But all of us seem to be people that are standing in a room. America could be likened to a room full of people holding their phones, staring at them for fear of having conversation with the people around them. It's us activists that come into the room and say, "Hey, look up, come here, look at me, check this out. There's something different happening over here, something you need to be aware of." You know, I also want you to consider that when you ask, what is the spark? What is it that is going to ignite the country into revolution and wake people up? You know, it's a dangerous line of thinking. Wage peace, and then you'll know real strength. Preach complete and total unity. You don't exclude anybody's race. You don't exclude anybody's gender. You don't exclude anybody's anything. And then you'll know strength. But not until then, because we're all sharing the same space. It only makes sense for us to do this. So now, how? The how, right? Type in Google Abraham Lincoln and the floating press. Paper. Paper is what got us here. Paper and women were two of the largest contributing factors that gave us this country. Sorry, fellas, I know that a lot of you are a bit misogynist and you don't like to hear things like this. But the fact is back then, before then, today, and tomorrow, there will never, ever be a better spy than a woman. That spy doesn't exist. There will never be, they even teach you in high pressure sales school that there will never be a better salesperson than a woman. There are reasons for this. Women were also the ones that when the British were in the next town and they were heading towards your town, the women would put white clothes up on the line. That meant the British were coming. That was another form of communication. There are many forms of communication that the people who gave us this country utilized to their fullest degree, all the way from invisible ink to Masonic symbols to clothes on a clothesline to paper, 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 paper. It was a piece of propaganda. It was a lie. It was Paul Revere's illustration that depicted the Boston Massacre as the British troops standing in formation when they shot at the crowd. That was a lie. They weren't standing in formation. That made it look like they were obeying orders to shoot, which meant war. Now, war didn't happen until 3 years after that illustration, but it was still marked as the number one thing, the number one catalyst that pushed everybody, even though it was a lie. That's how powerful paper is, people. Now, I want you to think about something. I was standing, and this holds true in all of our lives. I was standing on my front porch. We have a deck area that we share with our neighbors. And like I said, we had neighbors just move in next door, and I'm introducing my obnoxious self. And I said, I start to talk about the things that I talk about here on the show, things like this. And another neighbor that we loosely know each other came up and started talking. In conversation, they were unaware of a good portion of the things I was speaking about. And again, that's fair. They work hard as hell, at least 8 hours a day for a hell of a lot less money than what they should be, to pay bills where the prices have gone up: food prices, gas prices, water prices, rent prices, property tax prices. Everything has gone up, while the wages have steadily gone down or stayed the same in some places. And then when you get home, you have a million obligations there that you need to take care of: family, food, laundry, all the other obligations that you may have made to friends, all these different things. And then by that time you go to bed, you wake up, you get some food in your stomach, and you're off to work again. These people are distracted for a reason. We are blessed to be in a position to not only see what is going on, but to be able to say something about it. We've been chosen for a reason. This isn't some mystical, oh, we've been chosen. But look, we're in this position for a damn reason. That much is obvious. All of us. If you're within earshot of that, there is a reason for this. There's something that you are going to take from this and give to other people and give to yourself. It's a fact. That's how this goes. And we need to continue to do that. We have to continue this network that we've already put in place. Whether, look, the network that we have in place right now of activists and anons and sovereigns and all of this. If we were all gone tomorrow, we still have this network in place to give to the people behind us. There would be people that could pick right up and say, oh, okay, these people all know each other. We've done a good job. We really have. All of us, from the Awakened Cincinnatians to the Solutions Institute to the Fifth Column to the Anti-Media to the Big Plantation to everybody. It doesn't matter. All the Anons from Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio to Michigan to Indiana to West Virginia, all of the militia, everybody. Because now the militia and the sovereigns and the Anons have all started to work together, as it should be, right? I mean, that absolutely makes sense. You take everybody's aptitude, you take everybody's niche, everybody's skill, and then you let everybody do their thing, and everybody does it in tandem, keeping each other safe. Finally, these networks are started to be established, right? And we're capitalizing on all of this, as we should. There's been almost a complete underutilization of paper. You have a constitutional freedom of press, which means that you don't have to pay any taxes. You don't have to buy any registration things. You can take your ideas at home. Use your printer. Print up your ideas and walk around your neighborhood with somebody, with a friend, with a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a family relative, whoever, your kids. And go door to door and just use those as flyers. Use it as flyers. And the reason is because all of us are in a subculture. Some of what we talk about gets into the mainstream. And it's been more so. Granted, it has been more so. It's not enough. There are two people that live right next to me and in this building, and they have no idea what I'm talking about when I talk about most things. But you know, when we read the internet, we absorb ourselves in it, thinking that this is what is permeating everybody, and that's not the case. We are going to have to, like I said, it's simple because it's paper. You think of that as, well, that's way oversimplified, but it's not. You have to articulate things in such a way that it's wise. Now, this is where in the promo I said we'll be discussing some of the methodologies used against us, right? We need to word our flyers in a very specific way. Just do the best you can to make it, you know, the best that you can if you want to use your words. If you don't want to use your words, I'm going to have templates up on activistliaisonnetwork.com. Different types of flyers for different types of situations, whether it's end the Fed, end Monsanto, the Citizens for the Repeal of Common Core. I'm going to have these flyers put together for each group. That way, hey, if you need to print out, you know, however many flyers, you can go grab this PDF and then boom, add maybe whatever you need to for your local community, because you know what works best in your community. You know, torque a few things, change a few things, hell, change the whole thing if you have to. Make it however it's going to work for your community, and then get that thing out. And that's where the work comes into it, because it may sound like a simple idea, and make no mistake, paper is what in large part gave us this nation. This internet is not going to do it. Us discussing things amongst our subculture of friends and family is not going to do it. It's not enough. If my neighbors have no idea what I'm talking about, then chances are you have a ton of neighbors who have no idea what any of us are talking about. That's a huge risk for us to take, to not reach out to all of these people, retired couples, elderly folks, people that are just joining the workforce, mothers, fathers, families of 6, families of 8, you know, and single people, everybody, because it gives everybody a chance. It changes the dialogue, and we need control of this dialogue so bad right now. So bad right now. We have to take control of what's being discussed. We've established one hell of a firm network of independent and alternative media. The Anons give no fucks, and they do their thing, and they're going to wreck your shit if you get in their way. The Sovereigns have a platform of truth that they stand on that you couldn't knock them off with an Abrams tank. So these are all strong people where we realize that we don't come from weakness. This isn't a nation of people who come from weak folks. And if it takes these assholes oppressing us the way that they have been, which is very blatant and is very much in our faces, for us to wake up and try to wake up our neighbors, then I say we do it. And I say that we do it with paper, because it's time-tested, mother-approved shit. This works. Right? We have a lot of propaganda and a lot of propaganda methodologies being used against us, from symbols and flashing freaking televisions, and the way that you can use color contrast to draw in the human eye. Yellow and black are the highest contrasting colors to the human eye. This is why school buses are yellow and black. That way you don't hit the damn things, because there's usually a bunch of little bratty children in them. And one of them's mine. And you can use that in a flyer, right? And if you don't have the money to use yellow and black, that's fine. Use black and white. It doesn't matter. It can be as grassroots as it can be. It doesn't matter. And if everybody is making flyers or copying flyers, and I am going to finally print out my paper bullet for everybody. And that's a national campaign. So I'll put that out for everybody to get to as soon as ALN is launched and we get people in that want to be in, and we have the open enrollment and all of that. So, you know, the paper, it's a game changer for us, because how many people do you know that do not frequent the internet? And if they do, they're there for online games, poker, Yahoo games, things like this. They may talk to a few family members via instant message or something like that, keep up on family drama, friend drama, stuff like that. The majority of our country will not wake up until we wake them up. So the answer is, the spark is you. And how can you do it? Paper. The paper idea by itself sounds simple, but it's not, because it's going to take work. It's going to take you actually printing out so many copies and then finding ways. Use your imagination. If you see some kids in the neighborhood, say, look, man, if I toss you a couple bucks, can you hit these couple streets here with these flyers? Just go door to door, man. I'll toss you a quick $20 or something, whatever it is, if you can afford that. And I do want to talk about how this revolution is not affordable. I will get to that. Because it's not affordable for anybody. It's even less affordable for us to not have a revolution, and that's why we're here. And that's also why you're in a leadership position. Please, I want you to believe that. Think about it. Once we wake up the nation with freaking paper flyers, listen, if we have one day where it's a national event, right, and you get the first shift takes flyers out to the people in their neighborhood, right? That's all you can really do anyway, is canvass your own neighborhood. That's all any of us can really do. I mean, you could drive to another neighborhood if you wanted to, but hell, why not hit yours? Get a group of friends together. You guys go out with the paper boy or paper girl, right? About that time, boom, hit all your houses, right? Second shift goes out around noon and hits downtown businesses and people on their lunch breaks, people at restaurants, things like that. Third shift goes out an hour before the end of the business day and hits all government buildings and buildings in between. Federal buildings, police stations, everything, right? That's a powerful freaking message, people. That's an incredible message. And I want to talk about other methodologies. Now, the methodologies being used against us do have, they use symbols, sounds, all kinds of different things. It's time for us to create our own methodology if we haven't already, right? And there's nothing wrong with using what's out there. So yellow and black flyers where you have lines going like this, pointing to a direction, that makes the eye naturally focus. Bullseyes, concentric circles, same thing, makes you focus. That's why we look at boobies. So if we capitalize on just this little bit of knowledge and using colors, symbols, things like this, canvas your area, you absolutely have the right to. You have the freedom of press, and that's what this is, and that's what you are, and that's how you'll wake this nation up. That's a game changer. Because every retired couple, some 18-year-old who's getting into his first apartment, getting ready to turn 19, or maybe a young couple, people in the middle age that have paid some serious freaking dues, people that are disabled, at least we give them a chance. At least we give ourselves a chance. Essentially, that's what we're doing. You want to hear people stop bitching about how we can wake up the masses? This is it. Here you go. You've been given an answer. Spread it, share it. Let people know that this is a serious game changer for all of us. It gave us, in large part, this nation one time already. Do you guys know that historically a republic has never been lost and regained, ever? Do you know historically America has been the first for many things? And we can be the first for this too. And by all rights, it should be us. It really should be. We need to set that tone. We have the strength. We have the intelligence. We have the wit. We sure as hell have the know-how. I say, why not? Couldn't be any worse than living under these current conditions. And what time is it? Oh, man, 9:30 on the dot. Ciao. All right, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to cut off the camera. I'll play a little bit of tunes, and I'll come back here in a minute. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you being here. This is Diametric Opposition, and if you are not aware as to why, it's because I'm diametrically opposed. I'm diametrically opposed to anything I'm told by the lying bastards. I'm diametrically opposed to the lies that were fed by doctors, lawyers, judges. The doctors don't even read PDFs anymore, physicians' desk references, where they would say, okay, give me your symptoms. You would tell them, they would look up those symptoms, and they would say, okay, these symptoms are indicative of these diseases. And then they would kind of narrow it down through what you would say, and they would choose a number of things. They would give you a general application for what they believed it was out of those things, right? This was how they practiced what's Western medicine or heroic medicine. They don't do that anymore. Now they say, what do you got? You tell them and they say, okay, Pfizer. They go through all the pharma companies, all the drug companies to see what pill they're supposed to give you for those symptoms. Obviously, I'm not going to be their fucking lab rat. I'm not interested in any of my family or anyone I love being a lab rat for them either. So doctors have lost their position of trust. I'm diametrically opposed to this entire system. And much like somebody else, and I'll find this video and play it for you guys. I don't believe we're supposed to live this way. And I don't believe a lot of things that we've been told and sold. So we'll get to that when I come back. All right, guys, thanks for being here.
I want a girl with the right allocations, who is fast and thorough and sharp as a tack. She's playing with her jewelry, she's putting up her hair, she's touring the facility and picking up slack. I want a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket. Stays up late. I want a girl with uninterrupted prosperity, who uses a machete to cut through red tape, with fingernails that shine like justice, and a voice that is dark like tinted glass. She is fast, thorough, and sharp as a tack. She is touring the facility and picking up slack. I want a girl with the short skirt and a long jacket.
I got quite a few friends that are Cake fans. If you didn't know, this is Cake. Short skirt, long jacket.
I want a girl with a smooth liquidation. I want a girl with good dividends. At Citibank, we will meet accidentally. We'll start to talk when she borrows my pen. She wants a car with a cup holder armrest. She wants a car that will get her there.
I think my believe it or not, and I know you guys are going to be like, "Yep." I had a video on my page, and I'm still looking, so hopefully I find the damn thing. Where I'm not the only one that feels like we are living really far outside of our intentions. I'm not the only one that thinks we can live in a different world, in a different society. I don't believe that that's too idealistic, and a lot of that's usually people's weak ass argument. Oh yeah, that's just idealism. That's all that is. And look, out of all of the isms, then I'm buying into idealism because it's the only ism that has my best interests at heart. And I can't find it, but it was Joe Rogan, and he says, we don't have to. There doesn't always have to be somebody working at Burger King. Things don't always have to be like this. Society can be completely different from this. And it's not just Joe Rogan and myself. I'm going to play another clip from the HUM mission, HUM, which I believe is Human Unity Movement, but I could have that wrong. I'm going to play that, and that's also going to say something along to the same lines. I want to give some mentions, some shout-outs. The Ohio 3% Irregulars, hell yeah. You guys are really doing things. You guys have gotten huge, a lot of success, a lot of cool events, great pictures, great videos. You guys are really getting it done. If you guys get a chance, check out Michael C. School and check out his Pro Se Toolbox. This is a toolbox for all of us. It's for everybody to use. It's a way that we can use the system to try to get the power back in our hands. So check that out. Pro se means you're representing yourself or self-representing. For those of you who don't know, in Oregon, there is a situation at a gold mine right now where the Bureau of Land Management is trying to step in and take over the land rights, things like this. So the owners of the mine have called in the Oath Keepers, and which in turn have gotten a hold of militia, and they're calling for people to come down there and help. I actually know some people pretty close to that situation. So before I talk on it, I'm gonna wait until I get a hold of those folks, and then I'll probably just have them on, and they can tell you themselves. There was the C&N masks that you guys have been ordering like crazy from has now turned into CNN masks. They brought on another partner because the mask orders are through the freaking roof. Okay, let me see here. This is actually really quick. I want you guys to hear this. I believe this was at the National Rifle Association meeting that they had. And I've also got videos of Blaine Cooper where he's talking about the situation there at the mine. So I'll play that for you as well. Here, we'll go through a few clips. Here are just some different thoughts, different perspectives of things going on and some of the stuff I've been telling you about. So first, let's get to I'm sorry, Blaine Cooper. All right, here we go.
How's it going, everybody? This is Sergeant Senator with the Arizona State Militia. Right now, we are en route to Oregon. We're going to help out down there. Apparently, the BLM's coming through trying to kick people out and trying to take over a gold mine with the American people. Plus, me and Blaine, we're not going to let that happen.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Blaine Cooper. We're in the car. We're driving right now, so brings a whole new meaning to texting and driving. But anyway, there's a lot of opposition over there telling people to stand down and turn around. That is not true. Do not listen to him. This guy needs all the help he can get out there because he said he's never done anything like this before. So we as Americans need to get behind each other. That's what being Americans all about. We don't allow our neighbors to be enslaved or beaten or tortured by government jackboots because they want to steal our land and our resources and keep us under their thumb. So his name's Joseph Rice, correct?
Joseph Rice.
You guys do not hear anything from anybody but Joseph Rice. He's the contact. He's the only the only person you guys listen to. If anybody else says anything different, it's not true. Don't listen to him. We've already talked to him. He's our contact. We already told him we're on our way. We got security teams on their way. We even got some heavy hitters on their way. We won't tell you who because we got OSPAT. So anyway, you guys, this is Blaine Cooper. Make sure this video gets out. We are standing off at the BLM in Oregon, Grants, Oregon, over a gold mine. Can't let the Chinese or the government have the gold that belongs to the people. All right, guys, Blaine Cooper, I'm out.
So the gold mine is going to be given to the Chinese once the Bureau of Land Management gets it. So that's why he brought up the Chinese. I'm going to play this other video for you guys. I really wish I had that Joe Rogan video, but I've got some other ones that are just as good. So, all right, listen to this guy. This was at the National Rifle Association.
But this is where I want to be. Standing shoulder to shoulder with you, God-loving, freedom-loving patriots who support the United States Constitution, which includes the right to keep and bear arms. Or as President Barack Obama calls us, bitter clingers. He says that when things don't go right, that we cling to our guns and our religion, to which I replied, damn right we do, Mr. President, and don't you forget it.
And when he says that, he has a real serious look on his face, man. Real serious. That's Sheriff David Clark with an E at the end, of Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. And that's the NRA annual meeting, and that was in Nashville. So damn right they do, Mr. President, and don't you forget it. I like that grit, man. I like that spirit. That's what we're all about. It's kind of a attitude. All right, listen to this young man. What he's talking about is inequality. And I'll just let him speak for himself. Check this out.
You know, a lot of what he's saying is actual fact. It's actual fact. Yet it also speaks to the environment in which we are embedded as young black males and females in this particular society. Hip hop changing from positive to negative was not a consequence of history. It was not a circumstance of history. It was nothing that just happened on its own. It had nothing to do with the changing of the times. It had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the fact that there are people in this particular society who wants to see us exactly where we are. And we cannot let that point elude us. These are the facts. How do we know? 1967, Kerner Commission report on urban disorder. When black people said, yo, we're tired of this system. You know what I mean? This system is oppressing us. So we rebelled against the system. We burned things. We said, yo, we had enough. He did his little report on what caused these riots. He said, what caused these riots? He said it was young children who started these riots. And what was motivating them was a high self-esteem and an enhanced racial pride. He said the majority of the rioters were high school dropouts, but they had a higher political orientation than their peers who did not drop out. And they saw the system as their enemy, so they attacked it in the right circumstance. So fast forward to 1992. Same thing. #1 record on the radio, we had Fight the Power. Fight the Power is on the radio. Rodney King gets beat before the world. The black youth rebelled against the system. Again, they did it again. And why? What primed them? Positive hip hop primed them. Fight the Power, X-Clan, Brand Nubian. You had these groups out here who were pushing, who were politically orienting black kids in the right direction, giving them the proper prompters that they needed so that they can respond properly to oppression. All right? In 1967, when the riots happened, he saw that the self-esteem and the racial pride was fueling this. So he said, how do I bring that down so that they will not riot? And what he did, he flooded the airways with black exploitation movies. Nigga Charlie and the Return of Nigga Charlie. These were movies. Hip hop didn't start calling people niggas. We had Shaft. We had Coffee. Black girl turned prostitute to do whatever. You know what I mean? But these black exploitation movies brought down the self-esteem and the racial pride so that the kids will not rebel against the system of oppression. 92, the racial pride was back in effect. We had black kids going to Dr. Ben Yuckin lectures. We were spending our money to go see Farrakhan speak as opposed to going to a strip club. This is where we were. The most coveted article of clothing was a historically black college or university sweater. We were motivating children towards positive attitudes and lifestyles. And when Rodney King got the beating, heads responded properly. Fast forward to our day. Sean Bell is shot 50 times in the street in New York by police officers. #1 song on the radio, Like a Lollipop. Nobody do nothing. Nobody respond to nothing. Trust me. Just like the brother, I believe it was JT, the bigger figure, who said that the label executives came to him and said, yo, brother, we need you to talk about guns and whores. You know what I mean? That happens. I've been in those meetings with management and had to ask me, is what you're saying really what you believe, so that we'll know how to market you properly? You know what I mean? This happens. Young Buck on his album, he has a song on his album that talks about police terrorism. The label said absolutely not. Jimmy Iovine said absolutely not. You cannot put that record on the album because it might create an atmosphere that might put police officers' lives in danger. Right. So they took the record off, but they let him keep the other 14 songs on the album that talked about killing black youth. So this is what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with a circumstantial consequence of history. You know what I mean? The environment that we're embedded in puts us in a situation where we feel we have to maneuver and play the game and water our message down. You know what I mean? But no, what happened was they intentionally shifted the paradigm to get us exactly where we are right now. Right now, we're feeding the prison industrial complex right now. Our kids are going to prison because they're promoting these records. They're promoting these records daily that send us to jail. Now, I mean, it's cool to go to jail. Now, I mean, they glorify these things. And it's not the black youth. We're in a position where we get, like the brother said, the choice. You know, he said, yo, I chose the positive. So I didn't do it. But every youth is not going to take that route. I know I come from the projects. Grew up in the projects all my life, you know what I mean? And we're not turning down $500,000 to say nigga. We're not going to do it because we won't turn down $200 to take a package of crack from one corner to the next. You know what I mean? We're living in a state of poverty and want of all things. So it's hard for us to make that. Our judgment is clouded. And they knew that the judgment would be even more clouded if they took groups like X-Clan off the radio. This is just what it is. And until we start to deal with the environment that's shaping the behavior, we'll never get to the next level. We have to confront that. Wait.
He's right. He's absolutely right. And he's not the only one, and you're not the only ones that believe that our entertainment industry is another method, another boon that has been used against us, you know? We have many different things being used against us. Now, we only have 8 minutes left, so I'm not going to be able to get to everything. I apologize. But I want you to hear what Russell Brand was saying here. He was able to open a store where the Sun Times, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch, he bought the store where they were. And he gives us kind of a speech at the end. And I want you guys to hear that because it's important that we see and hear people from all walks of life saying the exact same things, striking the exact same tones. because we have to know that we're not alone.
Hello, I'm Russell. It's been an interesting few days for Trues Enterprises. We took over a newsagent on Hoxton Street. The Sun are kicking off about it because we covered all their awnings with the Trues dot. True News. This is our first newsagent. Hello, we're outside Hoxton News on Hoxton Street. We're replacing the Sun, which has become over the years a banner for those that grieve at Hillsborough for hacking into dead kids' phones. Now with a truthful banner of True News, news that we can trust.
That's beautiful.
So they're scratching off all the Sun signs and replacing them with the Trues signs.
The world is not made of atoms, the world is made of stories and signs. And today, the sign of the Sun was replaced by the sign of the Trues. True news replacing erroneous, duplicitous news. Is it a sign of things to come? This is Russell Brand, reporting for the Trues, Hoxton Street, London. It's more effective than I thought it would be because it really seems like a symbolic act. We are fighting a guerrilla war against tyranny. We have to just pick them off from the hills. We have to live in the tunnels to fight against the giant of Murdoch. That's the only way we can bring them down, by winning the hearts and minds of the people of Britain. Also, the True Era Cafe opened on the New Era estate, where people coming together defeated the might of Westbrook, a massive corporation. Now, the people involved there are providing food for it. People are working together to provide the agricultural needs. People are running beehives and chickens to get the produce, and recovering drug addicts like me are working in the place. So we're getting people back to work, ex-offenders, people with complex needs. As long as you've only got pies that are interested in causing division, hatred, and representing big business, we will create our own systems. Politics is dead. This is the end of politics. What we're discussing now is what comes after. Something worse or something better. They're already preparing for something worse. Police are becoming militarized across the world. We have an opportunity to create something better. It will start with small enterprises like this, which put the power where it belongs, with the people. This cafe is going to be run by people in abstinence-based recovery. It's a model that's not for profit, a fully self-supporting new economic enterprise. We'll start more and more of these social enterprises. Eventually, we will trade with one another in our own currency. We're going to create our own systems, our own federations, our own currencies, our own authorities. Thanks for coming today. I'm going to have yet more coffee. Thanks. Come from it, really. Interconnected autonomous collectives that trade with each other with their own currencies and their own rules across initially the nation and then the world. New currencies, new ideas, new communities, fully self-governing through their own contributions, economically viable, interesting, entrepreneurial and cool, not some bland dry thing from the past. There are limitless possibilities, you know. It's not just this or that. It's not just, well, capitalism tells us that it's the only possible alternative. This is not the only possible alternative. We can do whatever we want. We can do whatever we want. This is the beginning of something beautiful, a brand new, exciting, true era. Of course, we're not perfect. I mean, there's still an idiot involved at a fundamental level. I'm that idiot. But things are looking really bright. Great people were there, like Jasmine from the Focus E15 movement that won at the Carpenter's Estate. Of course, the New Era mums were there as well. And people like the Kindness Offensive and their wacky fun bus turned up. It was a real coming together of people. This is a new time. Old politics is dead. New politics is emerging. And new politics, that means you. Subscribe here, True News.
All right. Not everybody can be a fan of Russell Brand, but when he speaks in that way, it's incredibly revolutionary, and I'm into it. So, all right, I want you to listen to these words as we close, and then go enjoy your weekend and go love something. But a lot is said here in just 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So pay attention to this. And once again, know that you're not alone. I want to leave you with this as my last words for today. Be willing to pay the price and take the risks to wage peace. We can choose peace if we want to pay the price. So there we go. All right, guys, go love something. Here's my last part, and then I'll see you guys on Monday.
We have become detached and disconnected from reality. We have become detached from the earth. We have become detached from the feelings and lives of people elsewhere. If it interferes with our right to maintain our lifestyle standard of living. The course we're on in the first world is a course of ultimate destruction. Do we want to be part of this course of ultimate destruction, or do we want to be part of hope and affirmation and justice for all people of the earth and for the earth itself, without which we cannot live? Yes, I am talking about a nonviolent revolution of consciousness. A consciousness that is able to understand how we're all inextricably connected to each other on this earth and to the earth itself. And that if we violate those fundamental principles, we do so at our own peril. Yes, we can continue to live in this delusion and the denials of reality because it's painful, it's frightening, sometimes it's terrifying. It's terrifying to face the truth. Do we just go about our business as usual and know that another 5,000 people will be killed in our name? Or do we have to think about a paradigm shift? Well, I hope and I challenge all of you to think, but more importantly to feel in your heart how you might be able to act in such a way so that the world can live in peace and justice. So I ask each of you to search your hearts to what your truth is for being a citizen of the earth, promoting justice as a foundation for peace. It's not going to happen magically, and I think it's not going to happen by relying on these political structures and institutions. I think we're going to have to wage peace in the most extraordinary ways, whether our government wants it or not. You will know in your heart, I believe, what to do. But I know without a nonviolent revolution of consciousness, we will not survive as a civilization or the planet. We are at an extraordinary point in history where we can choose to have peace if we want to pay the price. And what more glorious goal and value do we want than peace for all people? And so I look forward to working together with you all, with we the people, to build a new society. Society that understands that we are not worth more and they are not worth less, and that we will be willing to pay the price and take the risks to wage peace with all fellow and sister human beings.
You guys go enjoy your weekend. Go love somebody. Go love another electrified bag of water.
pale light in your eyes reaches ocean, rise and rise. You know not to leave her. Now if the cold pale light in your eyes reaches ocean, rise and rise. You know not to leave her. Leave her.